Hi and welcome to Cheeky Richo's Halloween severed hand monster theme video recipe. The ingredients are in the recipe box below, so let's get started. The first thing I've done is put on a latex rubber glove. This is like a surgical glove. You can buy these at most chemist shops. Washed it well with soapy water and rinsed it and then dried it. So we're just going to take that off so the inside is completely dry and clean, and that is going to be the mold for our hand. Now to a bowl, we are just going to add our egg, good pinch of veggie salt, good pinch of freshly cracked pepper, some Italian dried seasoning, minced garlic, finely chopped bacon, our mince. Now I'm just using pork mince, but you could use any mince that you like, and some breadcrumbs. Will also help the egg to bind it and absorb some of the moisture as it's cooking. Now give this a good mix around. Now you can actually mold this into the shape of a hand if you like, if you have some sort of sculpting skills. If you just mix this up really well and then stuff it into a glove, it'll actually be rounded like a hand. Whereas if you mold it onto a baking tray or something, it'll actually be quite flat. This will give it like a 3D appearance. Okay, get our clean glove and stuff it. Squeeze it down into the fingers, fill them right up. Try and get the air out of them as you go, because you'll end up with lumpy fingers otherwise. No self-respecting monster would have lumpy fingers. Just keep packing it in. Depending on the size of your glove, depends on how much meat that you need to fill it. This is about 500 grams here. But the glove's quite stretchy, so it'll actually fill up as it goes. But you want it really quite firm, which is the opposite to what you would normally do with a meatloaf, because normally that sort of makes them really quite dry and tough, but you need this to hold its shape. So just keep squeezing it down into the fingers, expelling any air as you go. Okay, there's our stuffed glove. Now you will find that there will be little air pockets in the fingers. Just expel those and run them up to get rid of them, because that air is going to expand and it'll actually pull your hand out of shape. So just get as many of those little bubbles that you can out, and that's why we're using this glove, because you can actually see where those bubbles are. Okay, now at the end of our hand, this is what we have. Pretty gruesome. There's all sorts of tendons and stuff hanging out of it. So we're going to get a pickled onion that has been cut in half. Now that pickled onion has got little rings in it, layers of onion. Okay, we could pop that in the end like so, and that gives the illusion of a severed bone. It's probably not anatomically correct because there'll be several bones in there, but now we're just going to put a rubber band around that edge there and seal it all up. Okay, so just gather up your edges and twist it around almost like a balloon and put a rubber band around that. Get it really quite firm. And now we're going to steam this. And once we've got it steamed, partially cooked, that's going to cause it to hold its shape, and then we're going to cut our glove off the outside of it because it will already have held its shape. I'm sure there's probably silicone hands out there that you can buy to do this, but if you're only going to use it once a year, this is perfect. In the meantime, these are going to be our fingernails. We've got some almonds. We're just going to dip them into some boiling water. That will facilitate the removal of the skins, because that will be a lot better definition with no skins on it. I showed you how to blanch almonds in a different video anyway. Okay, we just pop our severed hand into our bamboo steamer, or any particular steamer that you have. It's going to get some patterns on the bottom of it, which are probably going to be like stitch patterns. Might add to the zombie effect. And we're going to just pop our lid on that and get it on some boiling water and steam it for about 15 minutes. Turn it over and do it for another 15 minutes. Now we've just got some boiling water here. Pop our almonds in there, leave them soak for a few minutes, and then the skins will just slip straight off. So then we'll have to split them because we need to have them in half almonds. Okay, after just a couple of minutes, pull out our almonds, give them a little squeeze, and your skins will come straight off. Don't let them dry. You have to do them one at a time, because if you do, the skins will dry back onto them again. Plus they have a tendency to get away on you. There we go. Little squeeze, and off she goes. And they're going to be pretty gruesome looking fingernails. And just put them to one side. Okay, to just split them, take an almond, find the seam in the almond, put a sharp knife on that seam, and just gently press down, and that almond will split. See? And there's your fingernails. Yuck. Complete with points. Some of these are actually half almonds, so they'll be fine on their own. They actually grew like that. Then once it again, put your knife on the seam, just press gently down. You don't have to put too much pressure. Being careful not to slip off and hit your finger. And there you have it. Okay, after 15 minutes of steaming, our hand is well and truly swollen up because of the air that's expanded inside that mince. We're going to carefully turn it over. This is a good time to ensure that you haven't boiled your steamer dry as well. So just carefully turn that over and pop it on for another 15 minutes. Okay, we just pop our steamer back over our water, put our lid on and continue for another 15 minutes. Okay, after another 15 minutes of steaming, we've just popped our severed hand onto a baking tray which has a bit of baking paper on it. When I open this, there'll be quite a bit of juice comes out of that, but don't worry about that because it'll just sort of go into some sort of gunky gravy. But be very careful because it will be quite hot, and it won't be brown at all because it's only been steamed. So just let those juices out, let it air dry a little bit. Really very hot. You'd probably be better off letting it set a little bit before you tried to remove the glove, but I want to get the sauce onto it and get it to soak in. As you can see, it's 3D and quite bloated, as if it has been in water or something for some period of time. You just carefully lift it up and remove our glove without dislodging our fingers if you can help it, but don't worry about that juice because that's just going to really dry out when we pop it into the oven. Now we're just going to paint on. When we've sealed it up with the rubber band at the end, it's actually closed over where our onion is, so just sort of jag that so that you can pull it out and you can see where the onion is. You see that? And that sort of adds to the authenticity of it. Now just paint the whole deal with some tomato paste. Told you I'd make you meatloaf. Generous dollop around this outside edge here. Now for our fingernails, we're just going to put a little dollop of our tomato paste onto our fingernails and just stick them on. Now they're not going to stick because of the tomato paste, but when you push it down, the getting right into this. The tomato paste comes around the outside of the nail, basically as if it was blood. So just push them on, and that gives them a little bit of definition as well. A bit of a zombie manicure here. And the thumb's got to sort of sit on sideways. Okay, a bit more of our tomato paste all around the edges here. Looking pretty realistic at this stage, based on my hand. And now we just sprinkle a little bit of cheese on the top, just a little bit. And that's going to sort of melt and go like all scabby looking skin. Now we just pop that into the oven, or you can pop it under a grill, or if you've got a butane torch, just use that to just melt it a little bit. It is essentially cooked, and we're just going to make sure that it's sort of browned and bubbly over the top. Just give it a few 3rd degree burns. Okay, to serve our severed hand, we've got some hot cooked spaghetti here. It's really quite steamy hot. We're throwing in some parsley and some of our homemade pesto. Now I've showed you how to make that in a different video. I actually used macadamia nuts this time, just something a little bit different. And we just keep flicking that around until it's all covered in green stuff. Doesn't that look gruesome? It tastes pretty fine actually. If you've got to eat something that looks disgusting, it may as well taste nice. Okay, after 15 minutes in a fairly hot oven, it is time to remove our gruesome hand. I'll just take that off the tray actually. It'll be a lot easier to manage when it's not so hot. And we're going to somehow get that onto that tray there for serving. You can see the bone sticking out the end there. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this actually. We appear to have dislodged a nail here. Stick that back on. We'll serve that with a little salsa and some extra tomato sauce for dipping in a kidney dish. Now we're just serving this with our swamp spaghetti and our spider's eggs. If you'd like to see more interesting recipes and ideas, just check out our Chicky Richo channel, and don't forget to please subscribe, and do come back and visit us again soon. We have so much more to show you, and we're uploading lots of videos every week. And thank you very much for watching. You have to check out our Halloween playlist. There are lots of gruesome recipes bound to make your monster party a hit.